starting it.
Good evening, everybody. This is Bill Griesmer coming to you live from Facebook Capitol here in Columbus, Ohio. So I don't know if you know, today is actually National Be a Millionaire Day. And I don't know, but if the stars were lined up, but this weekend happened to be the Magnify Your Wealth conference that I attended in San Diego, California. This was another example of me stepping way out of my comfort zone. That was the farthest west that I have ever been. Before that, the farthest I had ever been was Colorado, so I've now gone the farthest from my home. And it was a different land out there. They do things a little differently, but I've really learned the value of kind of spreading out and trying new things. And I was nervous to go and not sure if I really should be or if I would fit in, but I was really, really glad that I did in the end for a number of reasons. So I wanted to give you guys an update on that and then tell you some things that I picked up from the conference and just how it went. So one of the big things I heard over and over again from a lot of successful business people was the old Stephen Covey saying, begin with the end in mind. Like I said, a lot of different speakers kind of hit that theme. So almost anybody, you should realize, this is kind of important. I should really pay attention to this. So right in keeping with that then, Michelle Young, she led off the conference. She asked everybody right from the start to write down 3 things that they were wanting to accomplish through the course of that. And that was the first time actually I had ever done that. I'm working and thinking of another webinar about how to ensure a successful conference, and that for sure will be added to that because it just puts you in the mindset right from the start and the get-go of, what am I trying to accomplish there? It also gave me ideas about how to scale, my note investing business. So that was really good. Jim and Lorraine Conway spoke about some financial planning concepts, and Maureen McCann talked about passive real estate investing in Alabama. And the one thing that really occurred to me about her presentation is she actually lives in California and works for this company that does business in Alabama. And she can do that just because of the systems that she has in place. It does help. She does sales and marketing. But still, that's not really something that a whole lot of people would really think of. Nathan Long of Quest IRA, he was there. I always enjoy listening to him. Very sharp guy. Rebecca Miller and Haley Gant from Quest there as well. I had the chance to spend some time with the 3 of them. Again, it struck me just how potentially powerful that is. The ability to invest, in products other than the stock market within your IRA and really have that tax-free growth. It's a very, very powerful mechanism. One really special thing about this conference was just the availability of the speakers. Really almost every speaker you could schedule a half an hour or so really private consultation with. So in addition to hearing what they spoke about, you could really talk with them about, what your particular circumstances are and what you have going on, and they could make some specific recommendations specifically for you. I think that was the first time really, for the most part, I'd ever had that. I mean, sometimes you'll run into somebody like in a hotel room lobby, but the opportunity to really sit down with them one-on-one was really something special. So another thing, this conference was all about was just changing your way of thinking and learning to think like a billionaire or millionaire. Along those lines, one big nugget I picked up on that I have been guilty of in the past is unsuccessful people seek opinions. They might ask, do you think I should do this business? Or, is this a good decision for me? And they might ask this of somebody that really doesn't have the slightest clue. So you're probably not going to get a really good answer there. Really successful people, by contrast, they seek counsel. And that counsel includes wisdom and knowledge and mentorship. So instead of if you're unsure about an investment, you probably don't want to ask your parents, unless the parent happens to be Warren Buffett or something like that. you're better off going to one of your mentors or someone that you look up to, someone that has been there and made decisions like you're looking at. Be much more likely to lead to a better result for you. Another concept that I picked up here was stickability needs flexibility. So the example that they talked about with this was Greg Reed speaking, I believe. And boy, he was just a dynamic, just bam, speaker. Lot of energy, very dynamic. But he talked about then, the spider monkey, they're very, very hard to catch. And so they started laying traps where, they would put a seed or something, some type of food that the spider monkey wanted in a jar. And then the spider monkey would reach in and try to grab the nut or what have you, and then his hand would be stuck. All that spider monkey had to do was let go of the nut, and they could go on about their merry way and probably never be caught. So the spider monkey was so fixated on, I need food, that's what I need to get, that they just lost all flexibility. And I really thought about this with regards to me. It's so easy to think, well, that's my goal, and I have to go this way, and that's everything I have to do. That's really not the case. The wise investor, the successful business person is going to recognize, okay, well, that's the goal. That still has to remain constant, but, it might work out better if I go this way. That might end up being a shortcut in the long term. So there was a Yoda moment also for me also. Sign on the wall, and then I think Greg mentioned your thoughts lead to your feelings lead to results, and then your results lead to reality. So I've always heard in the past just kind of the shortcut here, that it goes straight from thoughts to reality. And that always kind of seemed, a little too new agey for me. But when you really kind of put it like that, as like, all right, yeah, I could see where that would be the case. So Michelle Young then spoke a little bit more. One of the big things she talked about was give yourself the win. And this was all about, it's so easy, even when you do well in something, to think, I should have done this better, or that should have done that, and maybe what I accomplished really wasn't all that great anyway. And that's, it's not a good way to be. And I was thinking of a bike ride I did once, and I rode as best as I could, but I just wasn't quite as fast as I wanted. So I was sitting there then at lunch just really unhappy with myself, and then about a half an hour later, here come in some of my friends, and boy, they were just at a great old time, They were taking pictures and such, and I just realized right at that moment, boy, I kind of missed the boat here. Yes, I rode pretty well. I was happy for about 3/4 of the race, but then I was all angry with myself after that. So just reminded me of that. The other thing then is to think about the gap between where you are right now and then where you want to be, and then start to think of particular ways to bridge that gap. I also had the opportunity to meet with Megan Cole. She's the marketing manager for Laughlin. She was really helpful for me to speak with also. The one thing she really impressed upon me is, I'm doing all these different activities. I'm doing videos here. I'm sending emails. I'm a monthly columnist for Think Realty magazine. I just started a note investing local subgroups through CORE, which is our local real estate investing club. And the whole point, though, you want all these things working together. And for me, one of the end goals, one of the funnels I really need to get to is really making a list of preferred buyers. So if you are interested in starting to learn about particular notes that our company has screened and vetted and we feel is a very safe investment, by all means, reach out to me, put a message under this Facebook video, or private message me. I'm on lots of social media. Many of you have my email also. My mentor and friend Scott Carson stopped by. What do you know? He essentially reinforced exactly what Megan said. You'd think they were both pretty successful people or something. So I really learned that, and that is something I'm going to be reinforcing myself. Wouldn't you know, I had the opportunity to speak with Bill Kelly. Bill Kelly is one of the people that founded WebMD. There's a physical therapy business idea that I've had percolating in my mind for at least a year. And he gave me some ideas about what I might do with that. And what do you know, they were a little different than what I was thinking of. But when the founder of WebMD tells you something about, digital product that's related to healthcare, it's probably a good idea to really at least listen hard to what he says. And then Michelle Young talked about the road to success. It's not just a straight line uphill. It's so easy to think that the really successful people, they don't have this problem. And that's just flat out wrong. They made the example of, if you got your mountain here, it doesn't go straight up like that. It kind of goes all around, and you might have a big drop off, and then you have a success. That's really much more reality. And then Aaron Young talked about being an unshackled owner. He talked about maybe making sure you have a clear target. Again, making sure you start with the end in mind. He talked about putting a team together. I was pretty happy here. I actually gave myself the win with this. I have a really good team around me. I've got really good vendors, thanks to some of my other note investors. And the other really thing that he hit me that I really made sure I mentioned here was something called MIO, Massive Improvement Objective. And that's really just a pass-fail. And, did you do it or not? And it's really easy to get locked into, I got to do this and this, or I've got 3 things that I really want to do. And he really impressed upon, I really got from that, you're much better off just focusing on one of those 3 things and then making sure you get that done. One way or another, come hell or high water, you focus on that and you get that done. Although the other thing that I really was fascinated by also, he also said that you don't want to always hit 100% of those. If you always hit 100%, then you're probably not stretching enough, you're probably not making it hard enough. So along those lines then, and per the suggestion of Scott and Megan, I'm going to be increasing up in my game. I'm going to start making these videos and emails once per week. I know just last month I said I was going to start doing 1 per month. I realized that was very realistic, but it was almost too easy. So I'll be starting to be here at least once a week, probably on Sunday, but if not, I'll just do it the day before, the day after. Like I said, you got to have a stickable goal, but you have to be flexible with how you get to it. So that is it. That was the big summer up from the conference. I also had the opportunity to see San Diego, wonderful city. I met some great new friends, Yvonne Love, Dr. Love, Abina, Danita, Chauncey, Michael Stevens. I got the chance to meet Rob Ramirez and Clifton Sadler, who were some other note investing friends of mine, and then of course Eric Hyde. Really got the chance to know them all. It's really neat how you can know someone on social media but then meet them in person. So that should wrap it up for tonight. Are there any questions? Nope, no questions. All right, well thank you very much for listening. We'll catch you next time, and that is how you climb the hill, my friends. Thank you and have a good night.